I am saying if parties would have stood by their stated position, the vote would have been different.
But
parties didn't stand by their own commitment.
Sir, you are talking again. The way you are speaking is as if parties not standing by their position is something new. Don't you know the history of the Samajwadi Party and what they did on the Indo-US nuke deal in 2008? Swapan Dasgupta, my question to you is different. No, Swapan Dasgupta, my question to you is, what is the impact of this on the UPA government, which seems to be now hinging, coming to you, Mr. Prasad, on the support of M+M?
Well, you know, Arnab, I think firstly we have to recognize that given the rules of parliament, this was a victory for the UPA. But this was a Pyrrhic victory. It has exposed the vulnerability of the UPA quite tremendously. On both votes, both on Sushma Swaraj's resolution as well as that of Saugata Roy's resolution, the maximum number which the UPA could muster was 253, which is short of the normal majority of any government. So the first conclusion we have to draw is that the UPA is actually heading a minority government. That in turn has implications in terms of its perceived vulnerability, about its being buffeted by competitive pressures now that they know that the government is in a minority. It has implications for governance also in future. Number two, I think contrary to your view that the BJP, why did it go in for a vote in 184 when it knew it was going? I think the overall news for the BJP is not discouraging at all. I think the BJP has demonstrated that at least after a very long time, it has been able to get all the erstwhile NDA partners back on the same track. Now that's a significant political gain. And of course, there's the bonus of Mr. Raja and the CPM. That's there. The third point, I think, which has an implication for governance again, is that the UPA will have to seriously consider whether reforms of a contentious nature can be forced down the gullet of an yet unwilling public. I mean, if reforms are also the art of the possible, do we take possibility at all costs? And these are the larger questions which I think the government in the coming days, after it's got over the euphoria of its victory, will have to ponder quite seriously.
Mr. Swapan Dasgupta describes this as a Pyrrhic, at the most temporary kind of victory. Coming back, and I'm going to open up this debate. I'm sure, Mr. Nirupam, you have a lot of responses to that. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, coming to you. Kumar Ketkar, you agree? Swapan Dasgupta's spin would make it look like the BJP emerges stronger and the government appears weaker.
No, actually BJP is clearly weaker in the sense that when Lalu Prasad Yadav mentioned Modi's name, he made everything clear that the moment you mention BJP and Modi as a face of the BJP, it becomes a communal issue.
No, that was what
become, no, what was that not become FDI issue, and therefore isolation of BJP becomes more stark.
So you're saying in the future, for those people who are expecting Mr. Modi to become the face of the BJP, should watch out for what happened in Parliament today?
Exactly, this is a signal to Modi, because
how is it a signal to Modi? Tell me, explain it.
Communalism was the issue which was not stated.
Okay.
The issue stated was FDI, but finally it boiled down to communalism, which was not stated.
But wasn't that a convenient cover-up of fig leaf? Wasn't that a fig leaf to the whole actual issue, which was CBI?
Convenience. It wasn't a fig leaf in the sense that all parties are grandstanding now to create an atmosphere for 2014. So this was a grandstanding. FDI was only a cover. Grandstanding for 2014 has begun, and Mulayam Singh on the one hand, CPM and CPI on the other, and BJP all want to occupy the political space that will be created by the absence of UPA in 2014, what they presume.
Gentlemen, there are two debates.
It is the absence of UPA and Congress in 2014, which they have taken for granted. They want to occupy that space, and all this grandstanding is clearly to who will occupy that major political space.
Gentlemen, everyone's had their initial observations. Now we go straight into the debate, open debate part. And my opening question here is to Mr. Sanjay Nirupam once again. Mr. Nirupam, if I can be a little bit more pointed with you, 2 or 3 of our panelists today have said quite clearly, and you need to answer this straight tonight, that you are picking up this communalism issue to avoid the CBI question.
No, can you ask it again?
You are
Arnab?
picking up, Mr. Nirupam, you are picking up this whole communalism issue. Like Narendra Modi talking about, being spoken about by Lalu Yadav. You are picking up the communalism bogey aggressively because there is no other explanation you have on why Mayawati and Mulayam changed their position. I want you to respond to that and then I'll get, because Swapan Das Gupta referred to it, so Ravi Shankar Prasad referred to it. Then we'll get the BJP to respond. Once more, please.
No, Arnab, you are absolutely wrong. We never spoke on the issue of communalism when we started debating the issue of FDI in the multi-brand retail. We had nothing to do with that issue.
But you picked it up later.
Even we believe in the even we believe in the fact that FDI issue has nothing to do with communalism.
Then why is Kamal not talking about communalism now?
But the parties, Mayawati's party and Mulayam Singh party, if these two parties basically chose to not to support BJP's resolution, something is wrong with BJP's own ideology.
Ravi Shankar Prasad
That is why these two parties took a decision.
Ravi Shankar Prasad, Congress says we did not talk about communalism. It is the internal realization of these parties like Mayawati and Mulayam that they cannot do anything to attach themselves to a communal BJP which made them vote against you. Your response, please.
Or no, very quickly, even these parties have moved the resolutions for disapproval in both the houses, just to put the record straight. Mayawati ji has been in government with the BJP 3-4 times. Now this whole communal card is being played since the year 1990, repeatedly being rejected. The BJP NDA forming a government with 26 political parties. Today there was a consolidation. Who knows, 2014 would be ours. But I am on a larger issue. And Arnav, please understand, Kamal Nath, being a parliamentary affairs minister, was utterly irresponsible when he raised the communal card.
How?
Elections is nearly 1.5 years away. They have to get many legislation passed. Many are constitutional legislation.
No, why do you blame Kamal Nath?
If they say...
Why do you blame Kamal Nath? The Congress says this is a decision of the Mayawati and Mulayam.
Arnav, I heard what Mr. Kamal Nath explained. Then if this is the attitude of the government on every issue, then I wish to tell them in all humility that they need BJP's support for getting a lot of legislation passed. Now, if you say that BJP is communal,
that's a threat.
Good number in both
that's
the
a
houses,
threat.
Then what are you saying?
That's a threat.
It is not a threat. I am only saying the irresponsible nature of sweeping comments made, which has got no basis.
Sir, you are the deputy leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, where the opposition is well placed. I don't know, Mr. Prasad, if that is not a threat, then what is? You are basically telling the government we'll get back at you when you want our support on other issues.
Arnav, please, I am trying to put the debate to some high level. Please listen to me. I am only wanting Congress party, under the impact of this manipulated victory, don't become arrogant. That's the first thing I would like to highlight. The second thing, please go by empirical evidence. What happened in the Lokpal debate in the Rajya Sabha? How a kind of chaos was manipulated by the Congress party? In the case of Lok Sabha, they had no majority in the constitutional amendment. We have already seen that. Mr. Raja rightly pointed out about the cash vote scam, which even the courts have adversely commented about the nature of investigation. So these things are too well known. If in this light we say that there is a disproportionate asset case pending against both the leaders in Supreme Court,
that's
the
again.
CBI is an important part.
No, he wanted proof from you.
Pending. How cannot you say that the manipulation has not been done?
No, one second. You're making a demand of manipulation. Second time.
Number is with them.
Second time
but the
tonight
moral part is not there.
No, second time you are...
Arnab, can I intervene?
Mr. Nirupam, you want to intervene, you can, but I thought the Samajwadi Party should respond first to the second charge, but I give you 30 seconds for an intervention. Please go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
No. So, all the BJP people are making allegations against government that the CBI has a role to play in basically maneuvering Mayawati and Mulayam Singh's party. This is all very objectionable thing. You have rightly asked BJP guy like Mr. Prasad that if you have any proof, if you can substantiate this kind of allegation, you please come out. Otherwise, you stop talking like this.
Show it or retract. Show it or retract. That's what our panelists, two of our panelists are telling you tonight. Show the proof or retract your comments.
Or no, let me reply again. is it not a fact that the affidavit of CBI has been changed many times in pending cases, depending upon the nature of support?
So what?
The nature of assistance
So what?
these parties give to the Congress government?
So what?
All
There
these
are
too
there
many
are so
laws.
many
We have
cases pending
debated
against
on
so
the
many
channel.
people. So what? You must understand the CBI is an autonomous body. No government can manipulate CBI today.
That's wonderful.
That's not wonderful. That is the correct. That's the fact of the matter. Please try to understand.
Mr. Farooqui is also responding to you, Mr. Prasad. 1 second. Mr. Farooqui. No, that's a lot of people smiled. I can see a lot of other panelists smiling, not just Ravi Shankar Prasad. Swapan Das Supra is smiling. There's a wistful smile on Kumar Ketkar's face as well to your comment that the CBI is an autonomous body. We've been hearing it since the days of Joginder Singh. So Kamal Farooqui wants to respond to you, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. Yes.
I'm very sorry when a senior lawyer like Mr. Prasad is making these kind of statements that the affidavits have been changed several times. The government has to make the amendments in the affidavits not once, twice, but as many number of times. But you cannot have the motives behind it. Now, the second thing which I wanted to, which you have been talking about it, that as far as the BJP is concerned, they have to understand that
sir, 1 minute.
Communal tax.
So I want to question you one. I want to ask you something. No, I want to ask you something. Is it true or not? Is it true or not that? So 1 minute. Is it true or not that in October 2007 the CBI had asked for the court's permission to proceed in its investigation? 2 months later it wanted to withdraw its application. Can you tell me why that happened? Is it not true that in July 2007 you bailed out the UPA government on the nuclear deal? 2 years later, when relationship between both your parties went bad, the CBI once again revived its plea to investigate the case further. Would you not say there have been ups and downs, waxing and waning of CBI interest in these cases? Would you not admit that?
Sorry, I don't have the. Sorry, Arnab, I don't have the facts, so I would not like
Sir,
to
the facts are with me.
I don't want to make the comment. But the only thing, no, I don't want to make the comment on that, because that's it. If at all something is matter, my General Secretary has already said that there is absolutely no CBI case pending against us. So why to talk about it?
No, there must be some miracle.
You need not.
So because a miracle has happened. The miracle is that you have mixed chalk and cheese. You brought Mayawati and Mulayam together. It's miraculous, isn't it, Kumar Ketkar, that Mayawati and Mulayam are together?
Yeah.
I don't know for how long.
No, only for this, because it is just the politics of anti-Congressism is changing its color.
Mr. Ravi Raja is smiling. Mr. Raja is smiling because he thought only the left is able to bring Mayawati and Mulayam together. Today the left has been beaten by the Congress party, Mr. Raja. Is that why you're smiling?
No, I think everybody... It is not the issue, because we know we are consistent in fighting against the neoliberal policies pursued by Congress-led UPA 2 government. It is known to the entire nation. It is known to every party in the parliament. Having said that, I must underline the fact that Congress party collaborates with BJP whenever there is a need to get macro level economic and fiscal policies, legislations passed by parliament. It is also a fact. And now Congress party is talking about
Mr. Nirupam.
Very intelligent floor management. They must explain what is that floor management, how they get all the macro level economic and fiscal policies passed by parliament.
Explain the miracle.
And whereas we have been fighting against all these neoliberal policies, anti-people policies consistently. Our position is very clear.
No, this is...
Tomorrow we will be on the streets
Mr. Raja,
to fight against these policies.
Mr. Raja is a member of the so-called Third Front, in which there is Mulayam Singh as well as Mayawati.
Is there a third front anymore after this?
Whatever they thought of Third Front.
No, there is no third front.
There is no third front. He's acknowledged.
So-called third front or
before
third front.
2009 election.
No, he says there's no third front. You can't force a third front.
We have not claimed there is a third front.
Before
so one minute assumption, we have not claimed there is a third front. What are we talking?
They are saying a third front. They have a third front.
I thought there was a third front. I thought Chandrababu Naidu came to Delhi. I thought he sat on a rally with Mulayam and you.
Third front. You are saying there is a third front. As though you have built the third front, you are claiming there is a third front. Who told you?
In the election before 2009...
No, calm down, gentlemen. Yes.
No, in the election before 2009, A.B. Bardhan came on television, your channel, and said even Mayawati can be the Prime Minister of the Third Front. A.B. Bardhan said that on
There is no
television.
third front.
Anybody, you can be the Prime Minister. You can be.
No, I don't.
BJP can
But
float any number of candidates.
you had recognized the third front. You had recognized the third front along with Mulayam, along with Chandra Babu, along with. You had recognized the existence of third front along with Mulayam, Mayawati, and Chandra Babu, and for that matter, even Sharad Pawar, NCP. That was the so-called imagined third front in 2009 before the election. And now suddenly the third front has disappeared.
You understand what is democracy.
Because the politics of anti-Congressism has come in crisis.
In a parliamentary democratic system, in a democracy like ours, any citizen
it is the politics of anti-Congressism which has been described in the misnomer.
It has adequate number to form the government.
Gentlemen, calm down. Gentlemen, calm down. I want to really discuss this communalism issue. Swapan Dasgupta raised his hand. I want Swapan Dasgupta to come in, and then I want to spend some time on this whole communalism issue, and I want to find out how this miracle happened in Parliament. Maybe Sanjay Nirupam will reveal more. Yes, Swapan Dasgupta, you wanted to come in.